Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to not business insurance. I'm so sorry. We are doing the insurance basics with John Avery, and we're going to talk about some insurance today. John, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Like and I said, my name is John Avery. I'm a advanced insurance examiner here in Madison, Wisconsin. I work for the Wisconsin Office of the Commissioner of Insurance, specifically the Division of Market Regulation and Enforcement. So with that being said, the OCI, short for the Office of Commissioner of Insurance, we do have a mission statement. And that is to protect and educate all Wisconsin consumers by maintaining and promoting a strong insurance industry in the state of Wisconsin. Um, our commissioner, who's appointed by the governor, his name is Nathan Hudak. Here's a picture of him. He's responsible for administering all enforcing insurance laws in the state of Wisconsin. Just so you know, insurance is regulated on the state level in each state. Every state has a Department of Insurance, and they regulate the insurance that's sold in that state in most cases. The Division of Market Regulation, their responsibilities and functions. We're responsible for monitoring the market activity of insurance companies and agents, also, and entities that do business in the state of Wisconsin. Specifically, we look at three different sections of insurance. There's all sorts of different kinds of insurance, but we primarily regulate the life insurance, the health insurance, and property and casualty insurance in the state of Wisconsin. Contracts sold in the state of Wisconsin. Specifically, I'll be talking about life insurance, which includes annuities. Annuities is considered a form of life insurance. But if you are considering purchasing life insurance, there's things you probably need to consider. Probably a lot of things you need to consider. One of which is, do you really need life insurance? Depending on who you talk to, if you talk to an insurance agent, they'll tell you everybody needs it, but I might disagree. But these are some of the considerations, and there's more. This is not an all-encompassing list, but in fact, does anybody depend on you financially? If you were to pass away, would that leave anybody else in dire straits financially? That's probably the most important reason why you'd buy life insurance, in my opinion. There's other reasons too, but like final expenses, leaving money to your family as a legacy, send your children to college, pay off a mortgage. There's lots of good reasons to purchase life insurance, but if you purchase life insurance, you should have definite reasons for doing so. I've always told people it's not to enrich your family. That's probably the wrong reason to buy life insurance. It's there for a reason in case you can't produce it yourself. So, and that's like, these are the kind of questions you have to ask yourself before you buy life insurance. Understand what life insurance is. I think I've talked to more people when I was a sales agent. I think I talked more people out of buying insurance than I did talking into insurance. But life insurance pays a death benefit if you die while the policy is in force. Of course, the policy has to be enforced, and you have to pay the premium when due. If it lapses and terminates, then the coverage is no longer in force. These kinds of benefits will protect you with hardships or your beneficiaries against hardships in the case of your passing. Things to consider if you already have life insurance. Most common kind of life insurance is the insurance you get through an employer, which is considered group insurance, not individual insurance. But if you already have life insurance, assess exactly how much you really need in sitting down and understanding what your financial needs really are at any given time, because your needs do change in time as you get older. If you pay off the house, you no longer need life insurance to pay for a mortgage, for instance. If your child goes to college and he's off, do you really need life insurance to pay for college? And I would think the answer is no to that. So your life circumstances do change, and you constantly have to reevaluate what you how much life insurance, if any, that you need. Um, so um, that being said, I'm not gonna read every bullet point to you, but um, like I said before, if you do need life insurance, decide how much coverage you actually need to buy. How much life insurance to buy depends on your financial needs, and it will continue after you die. Um, I gave examples before. Supporting your family, paying for a child's education, paying off a mortgage. Those are usually the biggest reasons why people buy life insurance. But I've asked people straight up if you're buying it to enrich your spouse or enrich a beneficiary, that's probably the last reason you want to buy life insurance. Uh, but it's a reason why a lot of people do buy it. So when you buy life insurance, you have to understand certain things. Like there are different types of insurance, life insurance, um, and each one has benefits, pros and cons. Um, the biggest question is it permanent or is it temporary? When I say that, is the life insurance set to um, start one day and then end? That's called term insurance, and that's perfect for instance, if you have a 20 or 30-year mortgage. Um, you only need the insurance while you still have the mortgage or while you have the debt. Um, term insurance is considered temporary because, like I said, it's only for a term. It's also the cheapest form of insurance. Um, if it expires, you don't get your money back after the term expires. It's like car insurance. If you don't have an accident after 20 years, the car insurance company doesn't give you your money back. Same thing with term insurance. If you go 20 years and you don't die, that money has been used. It was there in case you needed it for 20 years, but you don't get your money back. You don't get your premiums back. That's in comparison to cash value type policies. They consider whole life insurance or universal life insurance. Those types of policies, you pay over a long period of time. They develop cash value, and you can actually cash them in if you don't go the full term of the whole life. They're usually set up for age 95 or a certain age when they do mature. But they're set premiums that last for and they're set premiums for last for a long time. But again, these types of policies have cash value that you can actually take loans on. Um, so there's a big difference on those kinds of policies. Those cash value policies are much more expensive than term policies because they actually do get cash value, and you can't get your money back if you need to, or some of it anyway. It's also called renewable term. Term insurance is the temporary insurance, but they also have what they call renewable and non-renewable term. The big difference here being if you purchase a renewable term policy, 20 years, and the 20 years goes by and you're still kicking, they will renew the policy without having to go through medical underwriting. Most people after 20 years, they start developing medical issues, and it's sometimes it's impossible to buy life insurance as you get older, depending on what kind of medical issues you have. Um, but if it's a renewable term, it's going to renew regardless of your medical issues. A non-renewable term is exactly what it says. It's non-renewable, meaning after 20 years or 30 years or however long you bought it for, you have to go through the entire underwriting process again. And of course, it's going to be much more expensive because you're 20 years older. Term insurance is highly based on your age. It's a lot more expensive to purchase insurance as you get older, as we all know that. Cash value policies, I think I mentioned this, whole life versus universal life. Whole life, they both policies develop cash value. The biggest difference is how you pay for them. Whole life is generally set up for we have regular premiums for the life of the policy, and you can there's different kinds of policies you can set up for age 65 or where it expires at a certain age. A lot of them go to age 99 if people last that long, but a universal life policy is kind of a combination between a term and a whole because they're usually very cheap in the beginning because you're younger, but they do get more expensive. Something called COI, which is cost of insurance, kicks in as you get older, and the cost of the universal life policy goes up accordingly. A lot of people find themselves in distress as they get older with these universal life policies because the premiums become unaffordable um, as they get older. So they're hard to maintain. The cash value runs down to zero, and then they're forced to make a decision. So that's the biggest difference of the whole life and universal life policies. There's also called variable life and non-variable life. I won't spend a whole lot of time on this, but the biggest difference being when you say variable life, it means um, it's tied to the stock market. And They're high risk, high reward type policies because you with any stock you can make a lot of money, but also you can lose a lot of money, and that affects your cash value of the policy. So if risk is something you're worried about, these aren't probably the best policies to purchase because stock markets do fluctuate. Non-variable policies, they have guaranteed minimums of a small percentage that you'll make on them, but at least they're safe. Um, they're safe, well, I don't call them investments, but they're safe policies as far as the interest rates go. So um, variable is something if you're younger, it's something you can afford to do. You want to take the risk, that's fine. But as the older you get, people are less inclined to take risk with their money. So when you say variable, non-variable, variable means it's tied to the stock market, the interest that you make. Additional considerations that you need to think about. Can you afford it? That's the biggest thing. Can you afford it? Not only can you afford it now? Can you afford it? Are you going to be able to afford it 5, 10, 20, 30 years from now? So those are the kinds of considerations you need to think about. If you can't pay the premiums, then the insurance isn't going to do you any good because the policy is going to lapse. You have to make a decision whether you're going to keep it or not. But those kinds of things are things you need to consider when you initially purchase it, and then down the road, you constantly have to evaluate your needs for life insurance. I say this, life insurance is considered a luxury for most people because you're not entitled to it. Not everybody can purchase it because if you have a medical issue problem, um, no one will sell it to you. It's not like auto insurance or homeowners insurance. Those are the things that are required by law to have. Um, Life insurance is considered a luxury item, and like I said, there's a time frame where you actually it's a good idea to have it. Um, and then there comes a time in life where maybe you're independently wealthy and you don't need it. So I'm not a big believer in everybody needs life insurance, but keep that in mind when you think about what you can afford and what you want to try to afford, and know that it's going to change maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. Your life situation changes, so your life insurance needs will change as well. Just keep that in mind. A good agent will explain this all to you. But when you go to an agent, you buy insurance. Um, there's lots of different ways to purchase insurance. Um, Back in the old day, they would come to your doorway, they knock on your door, and you do it inside your living room. Then you have to go into an agent's office, sit down, do an application. You provide your personal information. You'll need to give them medical information. Be truthful. A lot of people try to purchase insurance, try to conceal medical conditions, um, knowing that they can't purchase life insurance if they tell the truth. Um, Keep in mind when you buy insurance, there's something called a 2-year contestability period. If the insurance company finds out that somebody isn't truthful on their life insurance application, what they'll do is they'll cancel the policy and they'll return your premiums to you and they'll cancel the policy completely. That's called a 2-year contestability provision. Every life insurance policy has it. So keep that in mind. Um, be truthful on the application. Let the company underwrite um, what your premium should be, and keep that in mind. But there is a process. A lot of people do it online now. Be careful. They do electronic signatures online. Um, Whatever you're comfortable with, but when you go through, you still need to do an application. There's always going to be medical questions. Unless it's a low type policy, they'll say, well, no application, no 2 or 3 medical questions. Those are low value policies, low face amounts. But um, those are what they call simplified issue, guaranteed issue type policies. But they're generally very low face amount, 10, 15, 20,000 at most. Um, Beneficiaries, it's probably the most important decision you'll have to make when you purchase life insurance. And not only who is going to be you can pick multiple beneficiaries. Um, you can what they call primary, secondary. If you have 2 kids, you want them to be 50%. If you were to pass away, one child gets 50%, the other child gets 50%. You can set your beneficiary any way you want. What I also tell people, um, if one of your beneficiaries were to pass away, be sure to update your beneficiary information because if you were to pass and the beneficiary you designated is no longer with us, that money goes to the estate, your estate. And that's a whole nother issue as far as probate, relatives fighting over the life insurance policies. So be sure that whoever you designate as beneficiary is always up to date. You should review your life insurance policy every year. Make sure that all the information is correct, especially the beneficiary information. Evaluate the future of your policy. Does your policy have cash value? Like I said, it depends on what kind of policy you have. If you have a term policy, a renewable term, as opposed to a universal or whole life policy, does it have cash value? Most life insurance policies don't go to maturity. People cash them in prior because of financial reasons. They want to take the money out, use it for a financial reason, whatever the reason. Most life insurance policies do not go to the full term. Um, like I said, if you do have a cash value policy, you're eligible to take a loan out on it, but you have to pay the loan back. Otherwise, that loan that you took out, you don't have to pay the loan back, but if you don't pay the loan back, that loan value gets subtracted off the death benefit. And that loan also accrues interest. That interest also will be deducted off your death benefit if you pass away. So even though you're not required to pay the loan back, the money that you didn't pay back, including interest, will get deducted off of the death benefit if you pass away and the policy is still in force. So make sure you talk to your insurance agent or the company to know what all your options are. I tell this people all the time, read. Most people don't want to, they buy a policy and they don't read it. And I understand that. It's long and complicated, but after you buy it, they will send it to you. They're required to provide you with a copy of the policy. Um, you don't read it all cover to cover. You won't. A lot of it's hard to understand sometimes, but make sure you understand main parts of it. And make sure that they have accurate information for you. Main provisions of the policy, and also keep this in mind when you get the policy, and they have to give you time to review it. Most policies they give you a 30-day they call free look period, and during that 30-day period when they deliver the policy, you can change your mind and cancel the policy if you choose and get your full money back. After the 30-day free look period, you can cancel it, but they'll keep some of the money because they legally were on the hook for that policy. If you were to pass away, they would have had to pay the death benefit. So they will keep a portion of the money. But during that first 30 days, you do have that free look provision. And I highly recommend that you sit down and take the time to read it and make sure you understand it. Whatever you don't understand, ask your agent or ask the company, have them explain it to you. So those are the big things I could tell you to do. Other than things that are on the bullets here. It says your personal information correct. Your premiums policies vary from year to year. Are they set premiums every single month, or you can set up premiums usually monthly, quarterly, biannually, annual. So are they guaranteed? Are they fixed, or can they vary? Like on a universal life policy, it's what they call premium as a flexed or a adjustable premium, meaning you can overfund it for a while and then take some time off and not fund it for a while. It gives you the ability to fund it how you want to. But a lot of people just go and they stop funding it, and then the cash value runs down to zero, and that's when they get into trouble as far as being able to afford the premiums. So those are universal life policies require a high degree of maintenance. They really do. Like I said, review your life insurance. I recommend reviewing your life insurance policy every year. Make sure that the information is correct. Make sure the beneficiary information is correct. Your personal information. Um, it's just good. It's good policy to do that. So it's an asset. It's a valuable asset in your portfolio. I don't call it an investment because I don't believe it's an investment. It's there to serve a purpose, a financial purpose in your life. So investments are something different in my opinion, but you should review it, make sure everything's up to date every single year. And like I said, any questions you have, if you have a trusted agent, hopefully you do. I know things get done over the internet these days, and you don't have that personal service where you can walk into somebody's office and sit down and talk about these things. But If you have questions, you need to ask them. You don't, I would say, ask those questions before you purchase the policy. But questions do come up later on, and you might have to make changes to the policy. Obviously, uh, that's a good time to review your needs. Your they call it needs analysis. Everybody has their own different needs analysis, so it's a good time to do a needs analysis with a trusted insurance agent or advisor or financial representative or whoever you need to talk to. That additional help can be provided by the insurance company. Most all companies have customer service numbers you can call and request policy information. Matter of fact, most insurance companies, that's how they operate now. So, and what they have websites, but we as the OCI, we have assets available to help you answer questions. Um, also, so I'll get into that relatively soon. We put this in the slide, and the NAIC, which stands for the National Association of Insurance Commissioners. It's a national organization. All the insurance commissioners of all 50 states are members of they comprise the board. Um, in a lot of cases, um, parents, grandparents that pass away, sometimes life insurance gets swept under the rug. They lose. They may even thought they forgot they even had a life insurance policy. Um, and sometimes you're just going through the attic and you run across some life insurance policy in a box, and you're like, hey, I wonder if this is still good. The NAIC has a service on their website to locate people who have insurance policies and didn't even know it, and they were listed as a beneficiary and didn't even know it. Um, this is I'll give you that website in case you need it, in case anybody needs it, where you can go search under your name, and insurance companies are required to go in there and if anybody has an inquiry about whether they're a beneficiary on a policy, they will check their databases, make sure, and see if you actually have a policy that has your name on it. Um, but that happens quite often. We get those calls quite a bit from people who are wondering if their life insurance policies from their mother, father, or grand are still any good. So resources. Of course, we're the state resource, oci.wi.gov. Um, People contact us generally either to um, get answers to their questions regarding insurance, their life insurance, annuities, home insurance, PNC insurance, property and auto and home. NAIC also has a website, but I'll give you that one too. But a lot of people contact us just to file complaints if they feel that their insurance company is taking too long to pay a claim. Um, any other type of insurance, or they did get denied for a claim. And they can call us if they want to file a complaint against their insurance company or their insurance agent. And there's the telephone number is there, 1-800-236-8517, or they can go online, which is the easiest way to do it at oci.wi.gov/complaints. And if somebody does file a complaint, but there's a form we can send them. We have the online form which you can see. That's the easiest way and fastest way to do it. But some people don't have access to a computer, so we can call us and we'll send a form to them so they can fill out the form and send it back to us. And we can investigate the complaint. When you file a complaint with us, we get the complaint. You give us all your information that you can give us. We send your complaint directly to the insurance company to give them an opportunity to either resolve the complaint or provide us a reason why they cannot resolve the complaint. And then we basically provide that information to you, and we look at their reason to see if they're not. We make sure that no one's violating any insurance laws. Um, so that's our biggest function. And with that being said, I can take questions if there are any.
Yes, we do have a question in the chat. Shay says, can you repeat address to see if we have a insurance policy? Um,
Yeah, that's on there's a. Yes, I can give you that information. It's if The NAIC, which stands for the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, NAIC. If you just do www.naic.com, and then on their website, they have something called the Policy Locator, and you just click on that button under life insurance. You'll see you just say Policy Locator, and then there's a process you enroll in the process. It's free. It's nothing. It's no charge, but you put in information. You create an account basically on their website, and then they usually, like I said, they'll get back to you. You have to just put in as much policy information as you possibly can, like the name. They might ask for a social security number for the person who had the insurance, the mother, grandfather, whoever, so that the company can do a proper search. And the whole procedure is right there laid out on the NAIC website. So I would encourage you to go on their website to see that. It's a pretty simple process.
I also put a link in the chat so you can see it there too, just in case you wanted to look at that tonight.
Are there any other questions in the chat? Got it.
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
So can we contact the OCI if we feel like an insurance company denied us for life insurance for any reason, or is that something that you guys do?
Is this for denial of if an insurance company denied you apply for life insurance and the company denied it
Yes.
for whatever reason?
Mhm.
Um, you can certainly contact us, but um, like I said, I go back to what I originally said about life insurance in general. Life insurance is not a right. Nobody has the right to life insurance. If I have a a, a medical condition like diabetes or something, chances of me finding a policy are probably nil. The insurance company is not going to insure me. So if they deny me coverage based on their own underwriting reasons, every company has their own underwriting qualifications. Some are a little more strict than others, but if a company denied me coverage because of I didn't meet one of their underwriting requirements, um, there's nothing the OCI can do. There's nothing anybody can do to reverse their decision. Um, because the OCI can't force an insurance company to cover anybody. In fact, if there's a claim and it's taking a long time to pay the claim, and the person who's filing the claim isn't giving the insurance company everything, like a death certificate, um, a claimant needs to give everything that the insurance company needs to pay the claim. But as far as coverage goes, um, if a company, the company will tell me why they're not going to insure me, but my only option then is to check with other insurance companies to see if their underwriting is less stringent, or if they'll still insure me, but the cost of the insurance is going to be much higher depending on it all depends on the individual, and it all depends on the reason I'm being denied coverage. Um, but the OCI, no DOI, no state DOI can force an insurance company, life insurance company, to give coverage if it's against the insurance company's underwriting guidelines. Did that answer your question?
Yes, that answered it pretty well. Thank you.
Thanks. We get that question quite often. I think the question we get most often calling is, "Hey, I found a life insurance policy in a box in the attic, and I was wondering if it was still any good." And life insurance companies sold back in 1975, and insurance companies do merge quite often, and these policies get quite old. Lots of things can happen to them. So, um, if that's the case, we can contact the insurance company. We have to do a search on if this company was around 1975. Chances are they merged with a bigger company like New York Life, Pacific Life. There's lots of insurance. The big insurance companies swallow up the little smaller insurance companies over the years. So we have to locate who what insurance company has that policy if the policy is still active. Because a lot of these policies, the older they are, the chances are they either lapsed for non-payment, or maybe the person cashed it in without you knowing about it, but they still kept the paperwork in their attic. But that's something we typically we get those calls quite often. We help people try to locate a policy if there's any money in it, um, if we can. Another thing I tell people, um, insurance policies, if when people do pass away, life life insurance is considered an asset, and if that asset goes unclaimed, um, what happens is they're required by law to turn that money over to the state of Wisconsin. If it was in the state of Wisconsin, they turn it over to the state of Wisconsin Department of Revenue. They call it, it's a process called escheatment, ESCHEATMENT, escheatment. The insurance company, just like a bank, if people die, they have money in their bank account, nobody claims it, the bank turns it over to the state to be claimed at a later date. Same goes for life insurance. If life insurance doesn't get claimed, um, the life insurance company turns it over to the state, and people can contact the Department of Revenue here in Wisconsin. It's the Department of Revenue. They have a division of unclaimed property, and I've referred a lot of people over to them to file, almost like the NAIC, to file a claim. You go on their website and you can see if the state of Wisconsin's holding money under your name. Um, that's fun to do sometimes. Maybe you'll like a little Easter egg hunt. So those are the two places. If you think you might have money in your name somewhere, I would check with NAIC if it's life insurance specifically, but also with the state of Wisconsin Department of Revenue Division of Unclaimed Property. They have a website also, just dor.gov.
When it gets turned over to the state, would that be like under the unclaimed property?
Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
And not just life insurance, but bank accounts, anything of value. I mean, people pass away and they might leave stuff in a storage bin. You know, that's an asset that has to get turned over to the state.
Mhm.
And certain assets get auctioned off, but life insurance proceeds do not. So
Okay. I don't see any more questions in the chat. If you all have any questions, feel free to send them now. If not, you can always feel free to send us an email um, here at Milwaukee Public Library. Our email is mplbusinesslibrarians@milwaukee.gov. You can ask any questions about today's program there. You can also give us a call if you needed to. You can call Ready Reference and someone can navigate you to the proper channels and we can answer those questions for you there too. Since this program is being recorded, it will be up on our socials at a later date. Um, and I think you will be notified once those are available too. We do have everyone's email and contact information just in case we need to reach out to you, okay? All right, John, did you want to add anything?
that's it. Like I said, if you have any additional questions down the road, call us. Go on our website. We have you can ask questions on our website. You can file a complaint on our website. It's oci.gov. To either file a complaint, that's most people, or just have questions, just general insurance questions about life insurance, annuities, home insurance, auto insurance, health insurance. We do have examiners that can answer questions for you. The easiest way to do it is to go on our website and to electronically, and we'll get back to you within 24 to 48 hours if that's the case.
Okay, thank you everyone for joining our insurance basics life insurance program tonight. I'm really grateful that you all tuned in and hopefully you'll come to our future insurance basics topics. All
Thank you,
right.
everybody. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Have a nice night.
All right. Bye bye now.
Bye.